everybody, it is the Last Raider, and we are back with another video. And no, you are not hallucinating, folks. I wish you were, but this is not it's not as bad as what you think it is. Okay, so before y'all just jump off and say, "Oh God, no," and breakneck off the video, stick around for a bit. It's not as bad as you think it is. Okay, but this is coming from IGN, and it has to do with angry lesbian versus angry tranny. And I've done some videos on this. And if Neil Druckmann wants to come, here's my thing. If Neil Druckmann wants to come out here and make himself look like an absolute ass, I will milk that teat. Okay? After the last time, I have gotten machines that are really good at milking that teat. Okay? He wants to come out here and take his shirt off, that's fine. I got something, just stick it right up there and we're done. Anyway, The Last of Us Part 3 has a plot, but it's not being made yet. I wonder why. I talked about this in one of my videos a while back when this first came out. When Last of Us 2 came out. And I said, Naughty Dog will make money off of it. Sony may even make money off of it. But what will determine whether or not another one gets made is if the retailers make money. And the retailers made jack shit off of The Last of Us Part 2. They did not sell almost any physical copies. Barely any digital copies were sold. See, Sony made a lot of money with the physical copies. A lot of people are trying to figure out how Sony makes money off physical copies. I've said this before. It has to do with the way retail works. Retail buys a certain amount of product, and then they turn around and sell it at a slightly higher price. So every time you see a game in a Walmart, in a GameStop, in any kind of game store, you have to remember the game company itself, the brick and mortar store company that takes it, the go-between middleman, has already paid Sony for that game. Sony's got their money. They now have to take what they invested in that game, that physical copy, and then turn around and sell it at a slightly higher price. That's why if you look at furniture companies and even some other companies, they say, "Oh, we can sell it to you at store-bought prices." That's a heck of a lot cheaper than what the store paid for it. Usually the store marks up something almost twice as much as what they originally paid for it. You can get almost 50 to 75% off on something if you can get it at store-bought price. A lot of people don't know this about retail. I know this because I work construction, and when you go work on a retail place and they hire you to come in and fix a leak or something like that, the guy that's behind the counter, he likes to talk about all the problems he has. That ends up being one of the problems of selling products. But let's continue on in this, because this is a very interesting little article here. It says a lot. It's amazing how much Neil Druckmann actually says. What is the old adjective? It's better to keep your mouth shut and let everybody think you're an idiot than open your mouth and actively confirm it, or is it a fool? I'm not sure which one. Either one is not very good, but here we go. Neil Druckmann confirms to all of us how much of an idiot he is. Naughty Dog has written a story outline for The Last of Us Part 3, but it isn't making the sequel right now. Creative director Neil Druckmann says he hopes it can one day see the light of day. Meaning PlayStation is not looking at it, folks. Continuing on. Speaking on an episode of the Scripted Apart podcast about the writing of The Last of Us Part 2, Druckmann touched briefly on the possibility of a sequel. Briefly, mind you. In this very brief moment, Neil Druckmann says a lot about that sequel's future. And says a lot about The Last of Us Part 2's performance. I don't know how much I want to reveal, co-writer Haley Gross. And I did write an outline for the story that we're not making. Wonder why. But I hope one day can see the light of day. That explores a little bit of what happens after the game. We'll see. Could it be that y'all didn't make any money because when The Last of Us Part 2 was coming out, it was obvious to everyone that there was a sequel going to be made to The Last of Us. And here's the thing. I got haters in my last couple videos. I am not someone who's hating on the game. I will tell you right now, and you can use this, and anyone who wants to get mad at me can use this in videos. I will concede, even though I have never played, and just based on the information given to me by fans of the original game, that The Last of Us is an amazing game. I will even admit that it's probably one of the best games ever made by a good margin. We're talking 9 out of 10 chance. It is one of the best of all time. It is a GOAT, okay? I will say that about The Last of Us. My problem is with The Last of Us Part 2, and unfortunately for a lot of the haters out there, there's a lot of fans of The Last of Us who hate The Last of Us Part 2 with a fucking passion. So when I tell you there's no excitement, the reason it's not being made is because there's no excitement for the game. Yeah, that's true. When I did videos of me going from Walmart to Walmart to Walmart, just within Walmarts, I hit almost every Walmart within 3 counties in the southern part of Missouri. And you can see this game being stacked up. In the damn fucking center of the Midwest of the United States, in the central part of the United States, in the most redneck of redneckish areas, a game about surviving a zombie apocalypse did nothing. Mind you, the zombie response team was started in St. Louis, Missouri, mind you. Okay? That's where the big zombie craze just up and started back in the early 2000s. That got Walking Dead and all these, and Z Nation and all these really good shows, and World War Z got all that crap started. That's where it started. This should have been right up the alley. It should have sold off the shelves. What happened? No. Ghost of Tsushima sold off the shelves. People who pioneered the zombie movement in the United States would much rather play a samurai game than a zombie game. That's how bad the zombie game was. There's no excitement. Sony is quite certain they can't even sell to retail. Retail has been burned so bad by this game that they're looking at Sony saying, yeah, nah fam, we ain't doing that. We ain't buying this shit. Made that mistake. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They're not getting fooled twice by this. They're going to leave that thing. I promise you, Walmart right now is in a desperate attempt with Nicolas Cage to find the lost pit of the E.T. the game so they can put the rest of the retail that they bought in that fucking pit. Okay? That's how bad it is. But let's continue on here. Druckmann says there's been quite a bit of discussion internally about a part 3. I bet there has. I'll concede that. But pointed out how much work is involved in making a game like this a reality. And here's... Listen to everything that he says in this next part. These games take so much to make. Part 2. I've been thinking about it for several years between when the last game came out and when this game came out. You want to make sure you're jazzed up by the idea that you have. That it feels like it's challenging. We've now had 2 games that I feel speak to something universal, as well as telling a very... It is universal, but let me continue. I have something to say to that. As well as telling a very personal story of these characters. With one game, there's no pattern of what a franchise is. With 2 games now, there's starting to be a pattern. Now I feel like there are some structural and thematic themes you'd have to stick to if you're making a 3rd game. Oh God, there is something universal about both of them. The one was really widely... First one is how to amaze your audience. The second universal fact is how to really piss off your audience. We are just making excuses at this point. And he continues to make excuses. It seems that Naughty Dog is currently exploring what to do next. After we finish one of our big titles, Druckmann explained, we take a long time to explore different ideas, whether it's going to be Last of Us 3, whether it's something new, whether there's some old franchise we want to go back to. I like to fully explore all those, then look at, like, okay, we have all of these ideas in front of us as a studio. What do we want to commit to? Because it's a huge commitment. Monetary time, passion, talent. So you think about it, the opportunity costs. So you think about all the opportunity costs that come with that. So here's the thing. All that is one big ass excuse. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, there was a lot of hype for Last of Us 2. It was very obvious that Sony was going to go this direction because Sony was going to make money. Sony is not a communist company. If you look at how they operate, they screw people over, they mess over their customers, they try to squeeze and milk and wring as much money out of their customers as possible. Sony is not in the business of making art. Sony is in the business, and so is Naughty Dog, of making money. And after the last abysmal financial failure, this is just final proof that they are having difficulty getting The Last of Us Part 3. And I told everyone this. The retail sales were going to have an effect because retail is guaranteed money for Sony. Retail doesn't even have to sell all of the games for Sony to make the full amount off every game. They are going to get paid for all the games. Sony is confident now that Walmart, GameStop, Target, Amazon, a lot of these companies that normally would just buy the game from them and then put out a stockpile in there, as they're going to buy the product and turn around and sell it for more later, they're not interested in it. And they know that these companies are not interested in it. Retail's not willing to risk it anymore. They lost money on The Last of Us Part 2. If you go back and look at the videos that I did on this, Ghost of Tsushima sold out 3 times within the span of 2 or 3 weeks. They would get new copies in and they would be gone. My hometown Walmart sold out. I bought one of 5 copies that were left of Ghost of Tsushima on Tuesday when everything was restocked, because that's when Walmart restocks everything in their retail. I know this because I need to know when I can get things if they don't have a product. I've asked them enough if they have it in the back that they tell me we restock on Tuesdays. Everything gets restocked on Tuesdays if they get a shipment in. What has happened here is they get a shipment of Ghost of Tsushima. I went and got it, told the dude to go buy it. Within 4 hours, he got off of his shift, went in there, the rest of the copies were gone. Could not keep it on the shelves. And that was in a town with a population of 1,200 people. Not even 2,000. This is not a major city we're talking about. My hometown has 1,200 people in it. And Ghost of Tsushima sold the F out within hours. Last of Us still sat on the shelves. There were pictures that I showed. Me going around, taking pictures of other Walmarts in 3 different counties. Massive stacks of Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 with massive stacks down there with GTA 5, which was still a 7-year-old game, still outselling the F out of what was supposed to be one of the most critically acclaimed games. The game that the Gaming Awards took all the awards practically, except for Player's Choice, which was the only one that players had control over. And for that one, they gave it to Ghost of Tsushima. Okay? I'm not hating on it. I'm simply reporting to you that if there is going to be a Last of Us Part 2, it is going to primarily be digital. Or Part 3. Part 3 will either be primarily digital or they'll just not make it. And if they do, there's going to be some major changes done. The game is pretty much, I would say the game is pretty much dead unless they could put someone else on there. Unless they put a video up of Abby running around and Ellie coming in there and just skewing her with a spear and finally finishing her off in the first 10 seconds of the game, there is no way in hell The Last of Us is going to be big. Last of Us 3 is going to come out and it's probably not going to sell. Now, I will say this. There's also the possibility that some crazy person with a bunch of money may want to look woke as hell and throw a bunch of cash at it. That could happen. But as far as making tons of money and being the big game, most of that will be propaganda coming in, if anything else. I seriously doubt The Last of Us Part 3 will be made. It's not being made right now. The script is done. They know what they want to do. The problem is Sony just doesn't want to do it. Sony knows it's not going to make money. And let me tell you something. This has happened before with Sony. Sony did Ghostbusters 3. And they fully expected on Ghostbusters 2016 2. Okay? The Wokebusters. And Wokebusters 2 didn't happen. We've not had any talk of Wokebusters 2. It failed that badly. In fact, Sony did a reverse afterward, went back, and now they're doing the original Ghostbusters like fans really wanted. They did Ghostbusters Afterlife. Bill Murray seems to like the idea of it. Last of Us Part 3 is probably not going to be made. Sorry. This is the final vindication by the fans. At the end of the day, fans have the power of the wallet, and the power of the wallet trumps anything a corporation has. Because let me make this abundantly clear. Just like kings back in medieval Europe, if the people turn against you, your empire crumbles. You go from being the king and almost God among men to a dude living inside of a stone hut. Anyway, folks, I'm The Last Raider. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And as always, tell me what you think in the comments. You know, I like to hear what y'all have to say about these particular subjects. Sometimes y'all's comments make me just bust out laughing. And sometimes I make these videos. A couple of weeks ago, I had one that was just, I had a really good one. A guy commented on one of my other videos. And it really made my day. All right, so thanks, man. That really made my day, the comment that was made. And I like hearing y'all's comments. So be sure to throw your comments in. I will. Honestly, I'm not at the subscriber count now where I'm like, I can't talk to all of y'all. I can answer everybody's comment if you want. I mean, I will answer everybody's comment. So send me a comment of what you think. As always, be safe, folks. Stay frosty. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye now.